a flamboyant route all the time, but still a simple cut where you know where you're going and the defensive player doesn't know where they're going. Shouldn't you have some advantage?
I think that the safest point is running down the field, running go routes. Anything inside, you want to stay away from that. Out breaking routes is okay because the quarterback, if he makes a mistake, the ball is going in the stands. So that's okay, but I think you want to run hitches. You want to run go routes, and you want to run out cuts. You don't want to do anything in the middle of the field because those balls will get tipped off those wet hands, interception, like Coach was saying, mistakes will happen. That's why I don't like the weather.
Putting your helmet around the ball more, Tom, as a linebacker?
You're trying to get your hat on the ball. You know, we played a lot of games in Denver where it was snowy, it was icy. The field got slippery, and I found that receivers always knew where they were going, and we couldn't catch up with them. You couldn't make that quick break on the football. But we have to remember, this field is soggy. The footing is going to be bad for wide receivers trying to make a cut. They're not going to be able to run that deep dig and come back at the QB. It's just not going to happen.
Big picture here, Pittsburgh Steelers tonight. Enough about the weather here for a moment. All right, we had a weekend in which we had, you know, the 2, 3, 4 teams, as we talked about it, Tom, Indianapolis and Green Bay and the Dallas Cowboys, however you want to order it up. They won on Thursday. The Patriots, well, they met a team that matched them, but they won their game by not turning it over, by making the big play on Sunday night. During the day on Sunday, I thought Jacksonville stepped up and was very impressive as a team going somewhere. Thought Cleveland did exactly what they had to do against a Houston team that's underrated, all right? So here's Pittsburgh. The last, I don't want to say the last, but a team of a quote, you know, a team that looks like they might be able to go deep in the playoffs, okay? What are we looking for from now that it's been Thanksgiving, from here on out, from the Steelers tonight and moving forward here down the stretch?
As I said last week, the team that's going to win the Super Bowl has got to win about 8 games from here out. So that's what they got in front of them. The teams that get to doing it quickly, they'll be the ones that get the best position in the playoffs and probably have the best chance to advance.
And they can't afford to lose those football games that they're supposed to win. They can't lose to the Arizona Cardinals and the Denver Broncos and the New York Jets. That can't happen. They need to put whatever they can put together tonight and look forward to the next game. If it's the New England Patriots, look forward to that and try to figure out a way to beat that football team. Like Coach says, who's ever going to get to the Super Bowl, they're going to have to win a number of games. And
that team's also going to be fairly healthy. You know, you're missing Palomalu tonight. You're missing Holmes tonight. Now, the deep threat might not be what it was going to be anyway with the weather and the field conditions, but you can already see injury factors, no matter how good a football team you are, going to take its toll going down the stretch.
Did you hear our guy from California here crying about the weather? Hey, if you get too many guys from California playing in this kind of stuff, you are losing games.
Your best player is California
guy.
You don't get much rain out there, Coach.
Can't run any in cuts.
No,
Give me a break.
You know what I think here, and we know the way Alan Faneca plays ball, and the offensive line and this sort of group will take it upon themselves. We gave up, or there were a lot of sacks last week after a season in which they've been pretty good on it. I don't know that Miami, not a bad defense, I don't know that they're really the team, you know, the 85 type Bears or the Ravens, et cetera, but I ought to think that they would dot the I's and cross the T's tonight, the Pittsburgh offensive line. I think Ben won't be a lot of mud unless he falls down on his own.
I'd be watching out for Jason Taylor tonight.
Oh, I understand that. I understand.
I know. I know.
I just say
I know.
For Tom and Coach Parcells and Keyshawn and Sal Subbin and everybody else at the stadium and more, I'm Chris Berman. Monday Night Football, here we go.
Playing on Monday Night Football is an amazing experience.
Just an amazing feeling, just a huge adrenaline rush.
We fight, and we keep fighting.
That's what I'm saying.
Have you heard this speech, Key?
Can you imagine listening to this?
Well, you heard this, right?
Game? Going around, coach will go around, look underneath everyone's cleats, get the long ones, and start messing with your mentals. And it's not his fault, but that's the way he coaches. But the rain, I would trade the rain any day for cold weather. I don't like the rain, Tom.
Well,
I got to catch footballs and I have to stop, cut, turn. That's just not comfortable for me.
You know, I'm the only one on this set who loves this weather. I'm looking forward to the exchange of ball at any time. That's center quarterback exchange. That's the quarterback turning the handoff. And it's not just the weather. We got to remember it's the soggy field as well. So footing is going to be bad for everybody out there, even if I'm in a pass rush mode. Every lineman in the league sets his feet to block. As soon as he does, I'm bull rushing him, I'm making a move. He's not going to have the footing that they usually have. This is such an advantage to the defense over the offense. Coach talks about keeping guys at their own end of the field. That became easier when you saw this weather and you saw this football field.
How much of the game plan, Coach, do you throw out the window, if any, or pick a page from a foul weather book that you weren't?
Tell me where I am on the field. If I'm on my own end, deep in my own territory, I'm running straight ahead. I'm not pitching the ball out. I'm not running any high-risk plays. I'm not doing any of that. Now, if I get it down on their end, then I'm going to try a little something a little more flamboyant. But the thing that's going to lose this game is mistakes, and it's where they are made that's going to determine the winner and loser of this game.
It was often said, though, as a wide receiver, even though it was rough, you know, with the footing key, you know where you're going, and the DB doesn't know where you're going. Now, I'm not saying you're doing, as you call it, a flamboyant route all the time, but still a simple cut where you know where you're going and the defensive player doesn't know where they're going. Shouldn't you have some advantage?
I think that the safest point is running down the field, running go routes. Anything inside, you want to stay away from that. Out breaking routes is okay because the quarterback, if he makes a mistake, the ball is going in the stands. So that's okay, but I think you want to run hitches, you want to run go routes, and you want to run out cuts. You don't want to do anything in the middle of the field because those balls will get tipped off those wet hands, interception, like Coach was saying, mistakes will happen. That's why I don't like the weather.
Putting your helmet around the ball more, Tom, as a linebacker?
You're trying to get your hat on the ball. You know, we played a lot of games in Denver where it was snowy, it was icy. The field got slippery, and I found that receivers always knew where they were going, and we couldn't catch up with them. You couldn't make that quick break on the football. But we have to remember this field is soggy. The footing is going to be bad for wide receivers trying to make a cut. They're not going to be able to run that deep dig and come back at the QB. It's just not going to happen.
Big picture here, Pittsburgh Steelers tonight. Enough about the weather here for a moment. All right, we had a week.
With dangerous weather in the area, our kickoff delayed 25 minutes, but 8:55 Eastern, just 10 minutes from now, the Steelers and Dolphins will kick off on Monday Night Football. Hi everyone, Mike Tirico. Welcome to Pittsburgh. The fans have been just told that the game will start in about 10 minutes, so they are settling into their seats as you are at home. We're glad to have you on board. The Steelers, with a win, stay a game ahead of Cleveland in the AFC North. Miami, they just want to win. 10 games, 10 losses. 0-10. It's been 6 years since a team started 0-10 in the National Football League. Miami sees Tampa Bay of 1976 getting closer and closer. Miami's trying to avoid being the second team in 63 years to have a winless NFL season. But still, they grab the headline tonight because Ricky Williams will return. As you probably have heard, Ricky Williams was suspended by the National Football League. It turned out to be an 18-month suspension for a 4th and 5th violation of the league's substance abuse policy. Ricky Williams was reinstated a dozen days ago, started practicing on Wednesday, and because of injuries and Ricky looking okay in practice, he's good enough to go, so he will be a reserve here tonight. So tonight's the latest chapter in a career full of turmoil and tumult, success and second chances. Tony Kornheiser and Ron Jaworski up here in the booth, and let's start right with Ricky, and what can you expect from him here this evening?
Well, if you would ask me that question 2 hours ago, Mike, I would have said very little. When you consider Ricky Williams has not played in a National Football League game in 22 months, he's been practicing for 1 week with the Miami Dolphins, and this time of year, those practices consist of wearing short pants, T-shirts, and helmets throughout practice. So I did not expect much until I saw the weather conditions and this field. That plays to Ricky Williams' game. He's a power runner. He runs behind his pads. he will get the positive yards by moving the pile. And remember this, Mike, the offensive line of the Dolphins does an outstanding job. They average 4.6 yards per rush, second best in the NFL.
We were here a couple of weeks ago. Pittsburgh looked good. Lost to a one-win team, the Jets, last Sunday. What happened?
Well, they didn't run the football effectively, and for the Steelers, it's all about the power running game. So tonight, that means a heavy dose of Willie Parker and a violent running game.
And don't overlook a winless team. Tony in Miami, they've seen a 0 in the record column before.
Yeah, but it's usually on the right side, not on the left side. Every time the Patriots win another game, we are reminded of whose perfection they're chasing. The 72 Dolphins, the celebrated dynasty Dolphins of Shula, Zonka, and Kick, the champagne cork-popping Dolphins of Greasy, Warfield, Bonaconte, and Mercury Morris, and how excruciating that must be for the current Dolphins of Cam Cameron and Oblivion. For not only do the Patriots keep winning, but these Dolphins keep losing. They are chasing perfection from another angle, the reverse angle. They are chasing imperfection. They're 0-10 and reduced to looking to a recidivist, pot-smoking running back for a jump start, and oh, how the mighty have fallen. Right now, the Dolphins stink. Can I make that any plainer? The Dolphins were a dynasty in the 70s with all their Hall of Famers. They were unfailingly exciting and competitive in the 80s and 90s with Dan Marino, and now they're terrible. They haven't made the playoffs since 2001. They're not going to make them this year or likely next year. Jimmy Johnson could not resuscitate them. Dave Wanstad could not motivate them. Nick Saban ran out on them for Alabama like a thief in the night. Saban thinks losing to Louisiana Monroe is catastrophic. Try being 0-10 where you were once 17-0.
Ergo, welcome back, Ricky Williams. For Miami, Ricky's return, not the only story. Joey Porter is back in the Bergen Dolphin uniform, trying to slow down one of the top NFL quarterbacks this season. Seal provides some of the soundtrack on this wet night of Monday Night Football.
Hockey's not just a game, it's a lifestyle.
Join the Reebok revolution. Visit NASN.com, your home for North American sports merchandise.
Druids Glen Golf Resort, voted European Golf Resort of the Year 2005. A golfer's paradise in the Garden of Ireland. 2 championship golf courses of contrasting design. The luxurious Marriott Druids Glen
Championship for the Steelers, he gets a chance to play against them one more time. Pittsburgh won the toss and will receive, and what we'll try to do is help you as much as we can with the yard line tonight because I can't see any of the numbers out there. Allen Rossum, we got his 30. Ready for it? Jay Feely set to kick off.
I got you covered on the numbers.
Yeah, good luck.
I've got a seeing eye dog up in the booth. We're okay.
Rossum fielding at about the 12. Up the middle, Rossum is taken down around the 32-yard line, a 20-yard return. And here comes Ben Roethlisberger, the quarterback. He has started 50 games in the NFL, and he's won 36 of them, 20-5 here at home. But Ron sacked 7 times, as mentioned, by the Jets in the loss last week at the Meadowlands.
Yeah, and the Jets did a really good job of breaking down the protection schemes of the Pittsburgh Steelers. They were getting a free blitzer at Ben Roethlisberger, breaking down their slides and their pickups. Good job by the Jets last week. Let's see if the Dolphins can do the same this week.
1st and 10, and we'll keep the yard line in for you as often as possible since you can't tell when you look at the screen. It's at the 33, and this is Parker dancing to the left. He gains about a yard. Keith Traylor in there on the stop, along with Donnie Spragan, who's starting for Derek Pope here tonight.
I got to ask you a question. With all the golf that you've done, is there a casual water rule on this field? Is there a lift, clean, and place rule so we know that the ball will be dry?
We're just hoping the Miami uniforms stay somewhere where we can see the numbers because they will be dirty. But take a picture now and look at the Miami uniform in 3 hours, right? Gain of 1 by Parker, 2nd and 9. And Roethlisberger with the throw. It is too far for Hines Ward and incomplete. Hey, Jaws, let me go back, I'm sorry, to something just basic. Players are such creatures of habit. Usually you come out, you warm up, you go back in, you go through your team warm-ups, and then you go back in the locker room and go. Here tonight, a truncated warm-up, 10 minutes out on the field, and then you're ready to go. Will that have any impact early on tonight?
You know, I really believe it does, and I think the Dolphins get a little bit of an advantage because they had some delays early this season, the start of their game, so they're used to being thrown off their normal clock.
It's a good point. Their game against Oakland in Miami was delayed a half hour at the start for the exact same reason.
Really helped them in the record book so far.
They lost that one. Against the four-man rush, Roethlisberger throws complete to Hines Ward. It was the first down at about the 47-yard line. Andre Goodman made the tackle. Marvell Smith, the left tackle, is out with a back injury, but he introduces us to the rest of the Steeler offense.
Introducing the offense, I'm going to start with the skilled athletes. Left guard, Mr. Pro Bowl himself, Alan Faneca. Center, Sean Mahan. Right guard, Kendall Trigger Happy Simmons. And at right tackle, the Bronx own Willie Colon. Then we have the quarterback, running back, wide receivers, tight ends. Everybody knows them.
The offensive lineman union heard from again. Officially, it was a gain of 14 for Ward. It's 1st and 10. Pittsburgh at their own 47. And Roethlisberger to the air. A sliding catch made by Cedric Wilson. A gain of 13 and a first down in front of Michael Lehan into Pittsburgh territory. Joey Porter is back against his old team and introduces us to the Dolphins defense.
Starting defensive line, number 99, defensive MVP, Jason Taylor, his sidekick, Vonnie Holliday, and the triple OG nose guard in the middle, Keith the Truck Trailer. At linebackers, you got the wild man, Shannon Crowder, and myself, Jay Peasy, a.k.a. The Boot. In a secondary, you have a superstar corner, number 25, Will Allen.
And a lot of injuries at the safety spot. This is 1st and 10 from the Miami 39. It's a gain of 1.5 yards for Willie Parker, who's carried it as much as anyone in the NFL this season. And as we heard from Joey Porter, here is his return. And when we met with him last night, he was so anxious to come back and see his old buddies.
Very excited, not with the 0-10 record with Miami Dolphins, but the play against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Disappointed that he's been primarily a strong side linebacker, has to play over the tight end. That means he doesn't play in space and doesn't get the ability to attack the quarterback that he loves so much to do.
2nd and 8, Pittsburgh at the Miami 37. Opening drive of the game. Roethlisberger, everybody's covered. Ben Good out of the pocket. Stays alive, completes it for a first down to Hines Ward, who gets it out at the 29-yard line.
Once again, one of the strengths of Ben Roethlisberger is to extend the play. Receivers run their routes, they don't get open. You'll see Ben survey the field, no one open. He moves now away from the rush. All of a sudden, receivers uncover. He throws the ball very well, moving to his left as well as his right. Accurate on the move.
He's having a great year. He's the number 2 rated passer in the entire NFL. And nobody really knows it because the distance between Brady and him is 20 miles.
Brady and everybody else, sure, 20 miles.
1st and 10, Pittsburgh at the Miami 29. Parker. Channing Crowder is playing middle linebacker in for Zach Thomas, who's inactive for the 4th consecutive game, 6th time this year. Crowder makes the stop. The gain was about 3.5.
Mike Jaws and I were watching them drop stuff on the field. You can probably see certain brown spots near where the ball is now. Jaws insists it's cat litter. Jaws said to me, this is what they're doing. They're dropping cat litter on the field.
They're soaking up the water.
2nd and 6.
And you believe me.
That is the 25 of Miami. And Ben gets out of the way, intercepted, and who else but Joey Porter takes it away, and right in front of the Steelers sideline says, hi guys, remember me? 10 to 20 of you used to come to my house for Thanksgiving dinner, and I got the leftovers tonight. Porter comes up with the interception against his old team, off his old teammate Roethlisberger.
With the PTI guys, fellas.
Welcome to PTI at halftime. How's the weather down there, Wilbon?
Tony, real men don't mind the elements.
All right, Wilbon. It's wet, it's sloppy. Does it feel like the Dolphins' night to finally win a game to you?
Don't big fish love water? I mean, it's pretty sloppy down there. They don't have to make many plays. Mother Nature has neutralized this situation to a degree. They can make one play, Tony, and win this game, which I don't think would happen on a dry track.
No, you're 100% right about that. Now, they have lost 5 times this year by 3 points. So they are very capable of losing close games and, in fact, losing all games. And Pittsburgh here is 5-0 at home this year, 12-0 in their last 12 Monday night games. I think the Dolphins have a chance. If they get to 2 minutes at 0-0, obviously anything can happen. If they get to OT, maybe,
Dolphins
the odds don't favor them.
They've lost some crushers, but
yes.
you would like their chances at least 0-0 on the road.
Better than before.
Eagles quarterback A.J. Feely almost engineered an upset of the Patriots last night. Today, Andy Reid said Donovan McNabb is still the starter if he's 100%. Tony, decode that for me, please.
Andy Reid has given himself some leeway by saying if Donovan's 100%. We both know that those two guys are inextricably tied at the hip. They've gone to 4 NFC championships together, 1 Super Bowl together. Andy Reid wants Donovan to start, but you and I both feel that Donovan McNabb will not be with that team next year.
No, we don't. You know what, Tony? You have to wonder if either one of those guys, Reid or McNabb, will be with that team.
And we've seen Donovan get hurt a lot.
Well, let me say
Garcia do well, and
if Feely had finished off that upset last night,
he'd be starting.
How could you not start?
That's right. The BCS is a mess with anonymous Missouri and West Virginia penciled into the title game. You love a playoff system. Will this force it?
Sadly, Tony, it probably will not. And it's ironic that a bunch of big-time college presidents aren't smart enough or creative enough to see how a playoff system will benefit Division I football and make them money. It ought to, but it won't.
Sometimes we pretend to disagree. We honestly disagree about this.
I know we do.
I think the college football season
this.
has been great this year because every game's been important. Every game in the last 5 weeks has been a bowl game in and of itself.
The playoff will be
this.
important too. Just like March Madness, you can make it
give
January
Missouri and West
Madness.
Virginia a chance. They have 1 loss. They've done well this year. Others have 2 or 3 losses.
Bell, I'm cutting you off. We're done.
You're done. They want me to stick around.
You
I
sure?
Think. No, I think so. I don't know.
Ricky Williams back, but welcome back and fumbling. Not that anybody couldn't do that on a night like this. No score at the half. More in a moment.
This halftime show is presented by Lexus and their pursuit of perfection.
You know, maybe Al Gore is indeed right. Lightning in western Pennsylvania after Thanksgiving? Well, like Al and global warming, did you perfectly predict the first half? Log on to espn.com, keyword play caller, to play along in the second half and make your own picks. Second half, somebody's going to score. Coming up after this.
This like? He said, you don't plan it this way, I guarantee you, and I don't recommend it. 0-10, nothing works.
You got Marty Booker on the double move, and Ike Taylor just waiting for it, and John Beck just trying to make a play. Trying to throw it down the field. Maybe you get an interference call, but trying to make a play.
It might have been, if picked, a play that worked out just as well as this punt. Brandon Fields struggled earlier, got the wet ball away. Allen Rossum going to let it go, and it looks like it's on a tee.
Boy.
If you tee the ball up, you couldn't put it any better.
You can go for the pin today, can't you, Mike? You can take out that 9-iron, go straight for the pin, drop it down, and plug it.
Unbelievable.
And Yankee fans are like oil and water. Cubs and White Sox fans at the same dinner table? Bad idea.
We come out of timeout for third and about 3 yards from the 12-yard line for the Steelers. At the 2-minute warning, Miami only has 1 timeout left. Roethlisberger swings it out. It is caught by Willie Reed. His 4th catch of the year is a first down inside the 10 at the 6-yard line with 1:50 left. Roethlisberger has hit his last 15 passes, and Pittsburgh will try to punch it in.
Just an outstanding job by the Steelers here, anticipating the blitz from the Miami Dolphins. Get the ball quickly to the outside to Willie Reed. Takes it up for the first down. Bruce Arians, offense coordinator, good design on that play. Got a big first down.
Willie Reed is only active because Santonio Holmes is out. Hasn't played since the Seattle game. In week 5. First and goal for Pittsburgh. Ben almost fell, keeps his balance. Rolling and throwing, knocked down by Joey Porter. Well, second down coming up with $1:13 left.
Very strange call in this situation, you know, especially Ben moving out to Joey Porter's side. He's been very effective today, Joey Porter. He may almost get another interception right here. As you'll see, Ben fakes the run and comes up throwing, and Joey does get a hand on the football. But when you know, Tony, you don't want to leave too much time for the Dolphins to go back there.
Exactly. Because they've been a juggernaut the entire game.
I need to tee up on that one.
Thank you.
Wilson and Washington. Nate Washington come to the bottom. Hines Ward to the top in short motion. Second and goal from the 7. Parker runs to the right. He's stopped there at the 5, and we have third down now. And see what Pittsburgh will do. First thing they'll do here is stop the clock. A timeout is taken, I believe, by the Steelers. With 1:07 to go, third down and goal from the 5 in this scoreless game. This year by 3 points or less. That's already a franchise record. And with Pittsburgh at the Miami 5, they're in Jeff Reed's field goal range even on this difficult night. Jaws, what are you thinking here play-wise, knowing Miami's out of timeouts?
Well, play-wise, irrelevant. I think you want to set up Jeff Reed with the best possible turf to kick the field goal from, which would mean run the ball to the left, or Ben maybe drop back 2 feet to his left, set him up right between the uprights on some good turf.
Najee Davenport is the back. They will throw. Ben is pressured, gets away from one, and will go down on the right side at the 6-yard line.
That's questionable. That's questionable. I mean, he almost lost 12 yards on the play. Should have.
Well, the one thing about a throw there, if he did throw it, it would have stopped the clock if incomplete and given Miami more time. Now Pittsburgh will let it run down to about 20 seconds.
Well, you can see right there the ball dangling away. I mean, only mistakes can happen there. Only bad things can happen when the quarterback is being attacked by 3 Miami defenders. Vonnie Holiday right there almost gets a hand there, knocks the ball away.
I would think what you'd want to do with that play is make sure that when you lined up to kick a field goal, you were in the driest possible conditions so that you could assure your field goal kicker, when he planted, wouldn't slip. Nice hair on Jeff Reed. Wow.
You see Jeff's history here in late second situations. A timeout was taken by Pittsburgh with 14 seconds left, and here's Susie to talk about the kicker.
Yeah, well, in the break before last, Mike Tomlin was frantically searching for Jeff Reed, wanted him up and ready to go, has the confidence that even in these conditions, he can make the kick. But Reed told me any kick tonight was going to be an adventure. He had walked down the whole middle of the field, has called it a quagmire, especially any place between the 25s. At this point, though, any place on the field. He said his strategy was to try to take smaller steps, but it's not like he isn't used to this. He said in his 6 years here, the field has always been an issue. He thought it couldn't get worse, but it has tonight. This will be an adventure.
Greg Warren will be his snapper, number 60, and during the whole timeout, Warren was working the area from where he'll snap from. Cam Cameron has no timeouts to freeze Reed, so there's no thought of that. This is a 24-yarder. The clock has properly been reset to 20, and Pittsburgh goes for the first points of the night.
This is far from a gimme. This is not a chip shot.
The holder is the rookie punter, Daniel Sepulveda. Snap good, hold good, kick good.
Eureka!
No timeouts, but Ted Ginn on a return. Left for Miami. Monday Night Football postgame. Steve Young and Emmett Smith here. Break down the key plays, the big scoring drives in the Tides game. Is there a blueprint to beat the Patriots after what we saw last night? And any latest updated news on the shooting of Redskins safety Sean Taylor? And we had our thoughts and prayers to the Redskins and Taylor and his family. 17 seconds left, 3-0. Ted Ginn is back. You would expect a squib kick that will be hard to field on this wet turf. There it is. Will it get all the way back to Ginn? Yes, it will. Well, it was going to, but instead it was picked up. Now they start lateraling to Ginn, who's brought down at a very good Anthony Madison play to bring him down at the 31-yard line. Let's take you back to the game-winning, or the game first points that should be the game-winning kick. Roethlisberger watching. A night when his stats were very good. I know his short pass is 18 of 21. Mike Tomlin knew it was going to be a physical game, asked his team to be physical. Saw them get into Dolphins territory all night. Reed, whose only miss was from 65 yards coming into tonight, missed earlier in the bad conditions, makes it there. 13 seconds, no timeouts for the Dolphins. John Beck throws it. See if he'll start the laterals. Here goes the Stanford Cow play, which happened 25 years ago. Marty Booker throws it to the quarterback Beck, who couldn't pick it up. With 2 seconds left, the game is not over, but we have penalty markers probably for an illegal forward pass.
And that will end the game.
This will not be the first scoreless game since 1943, so if there are living members of the Giants and Lions who played in that game, they're probably having champagne right now.
You're going to need some champagne when we get out of here.
You bet.
The game should be over with that illegal forward pass. Let's check with Jeff Tripper.
Illegal forward pass. Number 86 of the offense. That penalty is to be declined. Second down.
Pittsburgh 8-3, Cleveland 7-4 will be the story as long as Pittsburgh is not see a miracle happen here. So it would give the Steelers that 1-game lead in the division. 2 seconds left, so it's just a decline penalty there. The clock does not restart. They'll have one more chance to do it again.
For the Steelers, this is a beautiful win.
Let's watch it again. The pass is completed first to Patrick Cobbs. Looks for somebody to throw it to. It starts with the offensive line. Rex Hadnot back to L.J. Shelton.
Oh,
and
shouldn't have fallen down.
Well, he fell down and slipped. It was pitched back. The play was stopped there at the 44-yard line. So the game is over, and the final is Steelers 3, Dolphins nothing. GMC Monday Night Football postgame comes up next. The farthest we've gone into a game in the National Football League in 64 years before points were scored. And for all the angst and negativity shown during the game, Joey Porter with a hello for his old mates from the Steelers and their new head coach, Mike Tomlin. Lowest scoring game in the 38-year history of Monday Night Football. The biggest headline, the Miami Dolphins are 0-11. With Susie Colbert, Michelle Tafoya, Tony Kornheiser, Roger Worski. Thanks to our crew that worked during all the rain. Mike Tirico, good night from Pittsburgh.
Baltimore.
M&T Bank Stadium. We call it the Big Crab Cake in downtown Baltimore. Tonight, the spotlight shines again on the undefeated New England Patriots. Will the quest for perfection get derailed? Purple Haze, Patriots, Ravens. Next on Tom Hit It, Monday Night Countdown.
The pursuit of perfection is a long and arduous task, full of potential pitfalls. It began in the swamplands of New Jersey, with our patriotic heroes defeating a familiar foe.
Tom Brady threading the needle to Randy Moss.
Yet their enemy's only focus was on the mad genius and his photographic funny business. The National League of Justice weighed in.
I think the Patriots actually live by the saying, if you're not cheating, you're not trying.
We don't know what actually is going on. We're just going by hearsay. But maybe we can get our ring back.
Meanwhile, the most dangerous duo in the land marched on at record pace, vanquishing foe after foe after foe.
Randy Moss, that was a thing of beauty.
With their biggest threat defeated, voices from the past set out to downplay the team's accomplishments.
I respect the Patriots if they do that, but right now, they haven't done that. Don't call me when you're in my town. Call me when you're on my block.
With 5 games left, the perfectionist pursuit continues.